All right, let us begin then. So, kick things off. As many have likely seen, there's a bunch of new emotes. They're very fancy. They're based off of a character that I played way back in the day, per my name of Syrik. They cover a lot of different requested emotes people are wanting, so it should good stuff. Um, just brief mention on that. For other notes, though, we are definitely needing new blood right now. So hopefully we can start ramping up the training and um, getting people on board essentially. And this goes for staff, DMs, really any position. So hopefully for those who are watching in the future, um, they see this and start signing on. Um, da, 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 As another quick mention, games are starting to run, as I'm sure some of you have noticed, such as the Arlogus games. Ghost has started kicking up again. I know that you're working on your Dolator game. Um, Hopefully, those who are also working on the games are making good progress, and can start send those out to the broader public and get some people some games. But if you have any questions on that, by the way, feel free to send them my way. With all that said, though, the different regions, we have six of them that are making progress or are essentially done at this point. Um, this particular subject, I am wondering about the different origins. How are the origins going for your regions? I see some are not here in terms of region heads, but excellent. Events are good. But for the different region heads who are here, which is Blackheart and Sack, how are the origins of your region? How do they go?
Uh, we have um we have all the names and everything in the boons we won for it. I just have to go in there and add like the five lores and uh the other side stuff that comes with the origins.
Very nice, very nice. Well,
Out outside of that, they're all picked and everything.
mhm.
I just have to figure out like what special stuff I want added onto them for to fit their uh namesake.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. When they're all set up, just let me know and I'll plop them on to World Anvil. Also, regarding the Dolator area,
Hmm.
um, I have some questions for the next meeting because I
Hmm.
was looking at it to put it on World Anvil, and there's some things that I want to get your opinion on and the team on before I start plopping things down.
Me and Jokey finished the history last night,
Mhm.
like all the way down up to the 2636
Yeah, good stuff.
AD. So that's all done outside of adding some of like government stuff. It's good to go, but I'll plop it into the folder and you can l- look at it later today.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent indeed. Um, you answered for your region. Very good, very good. Um, so with that, I definitely want to start working on the plot of the different regions. So I'm going to be, we're not being slammed by homework because the past week has been slammed by homework. Going to be looking at starting an adventure team meeting. So be prepared for that. I'm going to be putting a scheduler into the adventure corner so we can start discussing as varying region heads where we want the plots to go, how we want them to coincide, if any, how they'll interact with the different regions, the border, um, and overall the DM side of the living world where we want this to lead. But that will be uh, to be determined in scheduling as we send it to Adventure Corner. Um, any questions on that? All right. Beyond that, I am likely going to be setting up the Minecraft server to do a vanilla test either today, tomorrow, maybe Tuesday if homework is slamming and jamming my face because I do have a bunch. It's upcoming. This Tuesday, I think, is the last one's due date. So we'll see if I can push through it quick like, or if it's gonna take those days to complete. Um, as for the other regions, I see that you are now here, Dacia. I know that you have been having uh, some issues of late, but hopefully that's you're all better now, and hopefully you know all that's all good to go. I know that you were trying to schedule a meeting this week, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Beyond that, does anyone have any questions, things they would like to discuss in particular? Anything of note? Quick. No.
Uh,
Hmm?
I've been kind of missing for a lot of the meetings of past. Are um, and you mentioned something about games going on now. Are we about at that point now?
So these games are highlight games, games that help to show off the setting itself. Any DM or staff in general, but especially DMs are encouraged to start setting up and running these games using the systems that we have in place, basically to generate hype, but also to give people games because I mean, you could always use more games, especially in a D&D uh, focused server.
Right.
It
Okay.
it also helps us beta test stuff
Mm-hmm.
because we do need to check a lot of things, and the quickest way to do that is crash test dummies
It's
Fair
for
true.
enough.
players.
Yeah.
All right.
If you have any
Yeah, I've
ideas,
just
feel
missed
free
a
to start
lot.
running stuff. Yeah. And no worries on that.
Uh, okay. Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
just finished my own private campaign yesterday, so
Nice.
I'll I can find all the stuff on the World Anvil, right?
Yeah, a lot of the world Anvil has rules, homebrew or otherwise. I've been working on getting the classes, the homebrew ones, up on World Anvil as well. As you can see, the Inquisitors on there. I've been determining how I'm going to be getting the Unchained classes on there because I am concerned with copyright on those ones due to them being,
Fair enough.
homebrews of base classes.
Yeah.
Um, but I think overall, if I put the core rules plus my homebrew rules on there, so the stuff that you can put on any wiki, and then my homebrew stuff, it should be fine. And then just mention the other stuff for here's a link to this place or something like that.
All right. And again, I've missed a lot. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
rocky past 2 months, and so
Yeah.
uh, I can contact people if I have questions
Mm-hmm.
that would go toward where, I guess.
Questions in regard to what? So you can always contact
Well,
me.
like if I intend to maybe pick up trying to run one of these to crash trust and such,
Mm.
and I have questions about.
So if you have questions about a particular region, you can always contact the region heads who have been working on said regions. Each of the
Okay.
different regions in Region Corner have the region heads and co-heads in the top part of the description. You can also always contact me. I am around. Um, and if you have any like questions of similar natures, you can just post it in like peer review if you want to get everyone else's opinion or anything of that nature. So,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
It
Thank you.
Yeah.
just as a note, if you when you do get players, do tell them that uh, a lot of these aren't gonna be canon. Like it's gonna be canon in the world, but their players aren't like gonna get a lot just so they know that so they don't get the expectation of like, hey, my character can continue past this.
Yeah, taper their expectations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, you can think about allowing certain things where, like, if your players are playing a bunch of heroes in your campaign, and the campaign concludes or it's still ongoing, but they want to play someone that's related to that, they can certainly put that in their backstory for approval during the living world. But it still has to go through the approval process, but they can still have ties to that character.
Hmm. All right.
Yeah. It's just they
Okay.
can't actively play that character unless there's
That makes
some
sense.
mumbo jumbo that happens. There's some small exceptions. I don't want to say no, but 99% of the time it'll probably be you can not play the characters from these games in the living world, but they
All
will
right.
likely exist in some way or fashion.
Like,
All right.
they can reset back to 1, but they'd be resetting back to the
So
basic
no
adventure.
progress is maintained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's like resetting back to 1 could work. You can even have it in your backstory where you're like zapped by the big bad evil guy in the campaign. Your powers were drained, and thus you're back to level 1. Or you could be playing a child of the character, or perhaps an NPC that they met that you really liked the theme of. And you're like, I'm gonna play that character. Um, you know, as long as that's one's got approval from the DM, because that is a DM's character. But a lot of things could happen. There's exceptions, of course.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions, notes, things of that nature? Oh, someone's typing. Oh. Yeah, we're at the end right here. I didn't have a lot to discuss. I was mostly just checking on people. Um, let's see here. As for other work, I'm gonna be doing some more map streams this week. As looking at my map list, it is a chunky list, and yeah, I need to go through them, and I think helping people out with potential ways to create maps was somewhat helpful for some in the stream. Good things to do. Of course, I have been working on some other maps off stream because there are secrets that cannot be shared in those maps. But
I can't believe JC finally dies on that map for all of his shenanigans.
yeah, JC, they certainly have a lot of shenanigans. I am actually a little concerned with their character on Sunday because things are getting spicy in that group. There's potential PvP, which has been approved by the party for clarity, but potential PvP, and it's getting pretty spicy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, that is the meeting. Appreciate everyone who showed up. Appreciate everyone who has not been able to show up, but has been around, been essentially working on stuff. Or those who have not been around but have worked on things in the past. All the help you've been providing has been very much appreciated. And when next week comes around, I might be having a decent chunk of stuff to provide. Otherwise, I'll be probably focusing on getting us a map library set up. And I know that the cartographers have been asking questions about potential when are we going to start working on maps for the living world and things of that nature. So they are around too. And the current idea for them, as mentioned way back, like in October or November, if I recall correctly, is that they will be given slots akin to DMs. But so if you are of interest of that, that is another thing to discuss though in more detail in a future meeting. What should regular GMs be doing now? Yeah, as Shrub said, you can work on games for when launch comes. You can work on games about like pre-Living World stuff, like what Shrub and Blackheart's doing. You can, ask around, see what you can do. You can help out in the different departments, such as political or economy, or just work on one of the regions. I know some of them have been uh, slow due to outstanding circumstances, such as Dracia's sickness and other things of that nature. So, if you anything you want to do, just you can ask around or just start working on a game and start running stuff. Um, but yeah, other than that, hope you all have a question. Yeah, RPG Maker. I actually thought about picking up the RPG Maker and making my own game, but I have Unity and Unreal, and I have a lot of Unreal assets, so I was working on something of that nature. Anyways, uh, that is the meeting. Hope you all have a good one, and I'm gonna close things out here right as JC shows up. Yep, that's how it works. All right.